What's up, everybody? We're back again. It's your favorite couple, the Hubbards.
Hey, everyone.
And we're back to shoot another episode. Before we get into the episode, though, just how, what do they call it? House cleaning?
Housekeeping.
Housekeeping, yeah. We got a couple of housekeeping things we need to get done. First thing, I'm excited because I got a new show that I'm going to be putting out. It's called Faith and Fishing. Two things I love, faith and fishing. And so I'm going to introduce that probably next week, do an introductory episode to let everybody know what it's about. And it's mainly for the men, but women, you can look at it too, you know, to help the men out, but it's mainly for the men folk. So yeah, but I'm excited about that, faith and fishing.
All right. And guys, we are only 2 subscribers away from hitting 100 subscribers. Please. We just need 2.
We just need 2.
We want more than 2,
right?
But we really want 2.
Now,
We'd love to hit 100 subscribers.
I know it's 2 of y'all out there that watching these videos that ain't subscribing. So go ahead and subscribe so we can get to 100, okay? That's a big milestone for us.
Yes, we want that.
Go ahead and hit it.
To us.
Keep it 100. 100, all right? 100 as they say. Oh, also, we got a lot of stuff that we want to talk about. I'm always coming up with stuff. Hey, let's talk about this and let's talk about that. But we really want to hear from you. What do you want us to talk about? What's on your mind? What's something that you're dealing with or you would like to know about? And we'll do our very best to give you our insight on whatever subject that you bring up. I think having almost 20 years in the game, you know, we got something we can talk about on the subject. I know, right? 20 years. Ooh, that's where all that gray hair coming from. 20
Not
years.
me.
No, not you. Yeah, 20 years, man. But okay, but anyway, but yeah, so those what we need. New show coming out, Faith and Fishing. We need 100 subscribers.
Give us 2.
Many more than that. And what is it that you guys want to hear? So, our topic today is Welcome to Parenthood.
We're here.
Yeah, I see my mug said Big Daddy. And Brenda's mug said Hot Mama. Brenda called me Big Daddy.
He's my big daddy.
See, everybody know that. She my hot mama. I don't call her hot mama, but she
better
did.
not.
Right. But we figured that these mugs would be good for tonight because I'm a daddy and she's a mama. And so we're talking about parenthood. And we want to talk to you guys about some of the things that we've learned on our journey to becoming parents. Just a little backstory, of course. It took us a while to become parents. We had fertility issues, and hey, that's an episode we could do right there. I mean, just think about it. But we had our struggles with fertility. It was a long 5 years before we could ever get pregnant. And we'll maybe come back and tell you guys that story. But we don't want to eat up this whole episode talking about that. But 5 years it took us to have our first child, and what we blessed, thankful more than ever. And then we had another one in less than 2 years. And then 5 years later, another one popped up out of nowhere.
That was kind of a surprise. How did that happen?
It's just like one morning, Brittany said, I'm pregnant. Like, how did it happen? But
it is. That's how it happens. It's
yeah.
like, we're having a baby.
Right. Yeah. So we're gonna talk to you guys about what we've learned along our Abigail's 13. Oh Lord, slow it down.
It's been an amazing journey.
It has been.
But it definitely has its difficulties. So
it does.
We just want to share with you guys some things that have helped us along the way.
All right, so welcome to parenthood. First thing that we've come to learn is we got to be on the same page. Got to be on the same page, whatever page that is. If it's page 100, we both on page 100. If it's page beat them down, we on page beat them down. If it's page...
And that does not mean we always agree.
No, we don't.
But they don't need to know that.
Right. They don't need to know that we're not together.
So on the same page in front of those kids.
Yeah, and so whenever we have to discipline, or yes, you can go, no, you can't go. And sometimes Brenda may be like, yeah, you can. And I'm sitting over there like, but I don't let them see it on the inside. On the inside of me.
I'm usually the no, so I don't need to know why
I'm
you said that.
But hold on, I'm just saying though.
Yes, man.
I'm just saying whenever, you know, but whenever on the inside, I'm like, you know, but the kids can never see that we don't agree.
Yes, they must always know that we're on one accord. So with that being said, take time before making decisions. So when the kids do come to you and ask those questions, a lot of times you don't have to make a split-second decision.
Right.
Take that opportunity to say, hey, let me think about it and discuss it with your spouse.
Yeah, because a lot, like I said, sometimes we think it's a clock in our head, and soon as somebody asks us something, we got to be quick to give them an answer, or something bad is going to happen. No, when your children come to you, and you know that that is something that both parties need to discuss, just take time out. Because we tell our kids all the time, hey, let us talk about it and get back with us. Especially if it's something that's not happening until a week from now or 2 weeks. If it ain't happening within the next 2 or 3 minutes, no, we're not going to rush and make a decision. And don't always make that decision by yourself, because you may think, well, there's no harm in that, or it'll be okay if I make this decision. But your spouse may have some information on that you didn't know about that could help you with that decision. So yeah, always make sure you take time out to put your heads together and make those decisions, because it's messed up if your child goes one and they say yeah and you already told them no, because they will try.
They do, especially our 5-year-old, because he's smart. He does it all the time.
He'll try. He'll go ask mommy. Mommy say no. He'll come and ask me like he ain't never talked to mommy about it. And I'll be like, yeah, you can go ahead and do that. Yeah, go right on ahead. And then Brenda come out the back, be like, what Brenda? Oh, I told him he could go out there and change the transmission in the truck. And Brenda like, man, you know. And I was like, I didn't know you had told him no. Now we sitting there, he laughing at us because we ain't on the same page. But yeah.
So don't let them play you against each other.
Because they smarter than they put on.
They are.
Another thing, when you come to discipline and consequences, be on the same page. Be on the same page. Because I know sometimes I can get extreme.
He is not. He is the softest.
You remember the time when RJ when he didn't want to shake them kids' hands at the baseball game? You remember my hair went too far?
He pulled every punishment out the bag.
No food, no sleep, no clothes, no shower, no bed, no house. You gotta walk everywhere you go. No TV, no video game, no brushing your teeth. Anything I can think of, everything. And Brenda was like, that's a little bit too far. That's a little bit too far.
Teach him the lesson.
I was just so ready to drop the hammer. I was ready to drop that hammer. That boy had shamed me so bad that night. Ooh, they want to shake them kids' hands because they had lost. I understand you mad, but well, we always say we joke. If you just get mad, go beat the other team up. That's what you do when you get mad. But we were just joking. But he didn't want to shake their hands and walked out. Man, we ain't raised you that way. No sir. But yeah, be on your discipline. Yes. Be on the same page.
And for certain things, you can already have worked out what you feel is okay for discipline, what certain consequences are. If this isn't done, these are the consequences, and stick to it.
Yeah.
Like not cleaning that kitchen every night.
Ooh, I know, right? They really got to get on their job.
Yeah, but there's no follow through.
I know, and we got to follow through on that.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly me.
Yeah.
Mainly me. Mm-hmm. But it's a us thing. But I know that it's me that's making the us thing, not what it needs to be. And I guess it's, I don't know what it is. I guess I'm a helicopter parent. I got to be right there on, make sure they're doing exactly like it's supposed to be done. And instead of them doing, I'm going to go ahead and do it that way. I ain't got to worry about fussing at them for not doing it. So, but yeah, we got to be on the same page with discipline, with consequences. Even if the consequences are good, we still got to be on the same page. Because I'm not going to tell you I'm going to give you $40 for bringing home A's when mama and already told you she ain't going to give you 5. You know, we got to be on the same page with the consequences. Not all consequences are bad. Yes. So rewards, I guess I should say. Be on the same page. If they want a little video game, then agree to that. You know, be on the same page.
And we typically ask them upfront, what would you want for reward? And let them tell us some things they would want. And we talk about what's within our wheelhouse that's possible, because RJ would take it to the moon.
Just ask for all kinds of stuff. Like, I don't know where he get that from. He know I don't know. But yeah, so make sure that you are on the same page. And again, do not let them see division. If you remember what Jesus spoke about division, that a house divided against itself cannot stand. It will not work if we as the parents are not together. There can be no division in parenting. It doesn't matter if you are together or not. You might not live together. That's cool, that's fine. But still parent together. Your relationship with each other might not be the best. That's fine. But for the sake of your kids, you need to be on the same page. We're not talking about husband and wife at this time. We're talking about as mom and dad. Be on the same page. Don't let them see division, because they will eat you alive. They will guilt trip you. They will do whatever they have to do to get whatever they want, and they know how to do it.
And you have to keep in mind that they're not my kids.
Right.
They're our kids. And a lot of times it gets easy to say, well, these my kids and this is my child and I do it. But they're ours.
Right.
And so even though we may not always agree, because we don't always agree with what's okay for Abigail to wear, because Dad's in denial that she's a teenager.
I am. And I'm going to stay there until she's 45.
So we have to find a compromise, because she's not just my child.
Right.
She's our child. And we both have to feel confident and comfortable in what we send her out of the house with.
And I'm starting to let go a little bit, because I believe that Brina is not going to let our 13-year-old.
You don't believe it. He just told me Saturday, her stomach better not be out.
I was joking,
Man,
though.
you think I'm letting her wear a midriff to church? Okay.
But I'm saying, though, it happens from time to time. But I'm getting to a point now where I know I can trust Brina to dress our 13-year-old appropriately.
Because he's never been a 13-year-old girl, so he should trust me.
You said I did one there?
You've never been a 13-year-old girl.
Never have, never will. No.
So when RJ starts hitting those teenage things, that's all you, buddy.
No, you just said that's our child.
Yeah.
Ours.
Yes, but I'm letting you take the lead there, because I've never been a 13-year-old boy. I've never been a teenage boy. I never had brothers. So it's a lot about boys in that stage in life I just don't know about.
Lord, we're going to be in a world of trouble. Because I remember what it was like being 13.
I'm scared.
Me too. All right, so make sure that you're on the same page. That's a good tip. That's a good way to start out, to lay a foundation, set the ground rules, whatever you need to do, make sure you're on the same page. And even if you
aren't parents yet, and you're contemplating, you're wanting to compare, these are things you should think about before. What's acceptable discipline for you? What's not for you? What are some things that you feel are important for you as far as child rearing? Have those discussions beforehand so that it doesn't become an issue after you have children.
Because, one of you might like to use a fly swatter. One of you might like to use a shoe. Somebody might like to use an extension cord.
We don't use those things.
No, we don't. They were used on us. But I'm just saying, though, I don't think my mom and them ever had a conversation. Hey, do you think an extension cord or a shoe is an appropriate form of punishment? But I'm just saying, those are conversations that you need to have. You need to have those conversations, like Brenda was saying, on all of that, because it makes a difference. So when they come to you, you can be on the same page.
Yes, because, and we had to have this conversation, you do not want to always have one parent being the bad guy.
Right.
The one person who enforces the discipline, who enforces the rules, and the other person is the chill parent.
That was me.
That's what they call him.
Yeah.
He's the chill parent.
I done got back on my game, though. I done got back on the horse. But
it's a Shetland pony.
Yeah, but he growing up. He growing up to be a horse. By the time we get done, he gonna be a full-grown Clydesdale. The kind that the Budweiser horse, the Budweiser horse. That's what I'm gonna be on by the time it's done. But hey, it's a growing process.
Yes,
it's a growing process. All right, the next thing you gotta learn how to do, you gotta treat each child appropriately. Now, see, you say the ones of you that just have one child, I envy you, because you already know what you're getting every single time. See, we got 3 of them.
And they are all individuals with their own personality. And the way you deal with one, you absolutely cannot deal with the other one the same way.
You cannot.
So this is more about equity than equality. So
say that again, Elaine.
Equity
versus equality.
Yes.
Equality just simply means everybody gets the same thing.
Everybody gets the same thing.
Okay, see, I'm learning something.
You want to be equitable in your parenting, meaning that each child is getting what they need for them personally.
Yeah, and we got, like I said, we got 3 different children, and each one has their own unique personality, and it baffles me sometimes. Just I think some of this, because I look back up some of my memories on Facebook, and before the 3rd one came, all they were black. Oh, did you see my look? what was the name on X-Men Storm? She had the little streak. I got a little Storm streak right there.
That was Rogue with the white hair.
Rogue, yeah, that's it. That had the little streak right there, Rogue. I got a little Rogue right there. And I think it didn't come until the third one came along because I didn't think that a 5-year-old could be like he is.
He's something else.
And everybody that talks to him be like, he ain't but 5, that's all. That's all. He older than the 13-year-old and 11-year-old. And he 5.
And so with that comes with how you talk to them.
Yeah.
There are certain things you can say to one child that you can't say to another. I already know with my Abigail, I have to tread lightly because she don't cry. I don't care what I say. The delivery is extremely important when I talk to her. Whereas with RJ, I could be a bit more blunt, and so the things I say to him, I could not necessarily say to her because it would not be received the same way.
Yeah, and just same way with like I can just get all down in RJ's face. Couldn't do that with Gail though. Can't. With Brandon, it don't matter what you say. You don't really matter.
No.
But then he'll put on the baby face and come back. Daddy yelled at me because of this. And that was 30. That was 30 minutes.
I love when he does baby because I want a baby. And so when he actually wants to be my 5-year-old baby, I love it.
We ain't having no more.
No, I want another one. I just want him to be my baby.
No, he ain't no baby. That boy 30 years old. I don't know how. Anyway, but so you got to learn how to talk with them. You got to learn how to say, okay, this child is different from this one, and this one is different from that one. And so with me knowing that, I'm going to talk to this one a certain way, I'm going to talk to that one a certain way, I'm going to talk to that one a certain way. And the reason we do that is to get the most out of them. To get the most out of them. You don't want them shutting down on you because you raise your voice a little bit. And it's not that you're being a soft parent. It's not that you're not being hard. But if parenting is about communication, and if I need my child to talk to me, no matter what they've done, I need to know how to talk to them so they'll reciprocate the conversation. And if I go in screaming and yelling all the time to certain ones, guess what? They ain't gonna get nothing.
And I don't even scream and yell. So I don't even understand how I got the title of the hard parent.
What are you talking about?
Because I don't scream and yell. That was a unique situation.
You say you don't scream.
I don't scream and yell all the time.
Now y'all heard her dial it back. I don't scream and yell.
No, I know what he's referring to. That was a unique situation. I thought you were talking about when RJ got into trouble.
I wasn't even talking about that.
So I kind of lost my mind a little bit on.
And I was sitting over there looking like this. Because she'll start out low. And I'm like, yep. And then we get up there and I'm like, shit. And then it got so funny that I had to turn away and look. And I look back at her and she started going, I'm just killing myself laughing. With a belt in my hand, tearing RJ up, trying not to laugh. Then I turn away when she yelling again. But yeah.
Oh, okay. But
he ain't got no more trouble since then.
He has not. But when? Am I a yeller? When? Probably after I've said something 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
That's different.
Okay.
I shouldn't have to say it 4 or 5 times.
No, you shouldn't.
And if they can't hear me unless I'm yelling, that's different. But I'm just not like a person that just starts off yelling.
No, you don't start off yelling.
I don't.
No, you don't start off yelling.
You don't yell at all, so.
I'm chill.
He's chill.
I'm relaxed.
Relax.
I'm cool. I'm calm. I'm collective. But look, sound like a fragrance commercial. All right, so look, the reason, a part of your children treating each child differently also goes along with expectations. You got to understand that each one is intellectually, emotionally, physically different.
Yeah.
They are. And you can't expect for one to do the same thing as the other and the same thing as the other. You can't.
Which means no comparing.
Yeah.
You can't say, well, look at what your sister did. Look what your brother did. Why can't you be like them? Why can't you do it? They're individuals.
Yeah, and they are different in every sense of the word. Academically, they are different. And we got it socially, physically, athletically, all of that. They're different. Now we got 3, and those of you who know us know them. And academically, they are all bright and brilliant kids.
Thank you, God.
Right, because I'm a teacher, and I don't know if I could teach them. So I'm just thankful that they brilliant. So Abigail is very brilliant, and it takes nothing to get that out of her.
Because she's intrinsically motivated. She's self-motivated to do well.
Yep. RJ is brilliant, but it takes a belt.
See, he is not intrinsically motivated whatsoever.
At all. He like I was. I was very lazy in school.
Brilliant, but does not want to do the work. At
all. So we treat him different when it comes down to grades. We don't have to, with Abigail, it's not a, hey, if you do your grade, if you do well in school, we'll get you this, that, and the other. We don't have to do that with her because it's automatic. But with RJ, it's almost like bribing him.
We had to promise this boy a shrimp bowl to get him to pull his grades up by the end of the year. And all he think about is that little stomach. Right. And so, lo and behold, then he brings home all A's. Make it make sense. Right. But that's who he is.
Right. And so we treat them different. And Brian, we hadn't gotten to that point. Oh, yeah, yes, he is. Because he'll sit there and Brandon ask him his alphabet, and he act like he don't know him.
He don't know a number from an alphabet.
Right. But then, when I sit there and tell him, he just rattle them off. Just rattle them off.
I'm confused.
So we treat him differently. Don't know what it is. That also goes to rewards and punishments as well. You can't punish one like you punish the other.
And you can't punish one because you're punishing the other. That's one thing I hated growing up. If one of us did something, all 3 of us got punished. Now how's that right? Cedar, eating them M&M's. And all 3 of us got a whooping. But she don't want to eat M&M's. Now when you watch this, you know I'm telling the truth.
If y'all don't know who Cedar is, that's Brenda's sister. That's the middle child. Yeah, so they tell me that story all the time.
And how you punish us when you always got snacks around the house but don't want us to eat snacks? Kids like snacks.
Miss Betty keeps snacks in the house. Snacks Central. Anything you want. Cakes, candies.
My poor husband and children go shopping every time
we leave Miss Betty's house, we have a bag full of stuff. Fruit
and they
snacks,
eat snacks
grandma
the entire
cookies,
time they're there.
Popsicles, ice cream, what are those bars?
Nutty
bars, honey buns, bananas, apples, oranges, the strawberry candy that the old ladies have in church, peppermints, whatever you want. Miss Betty got it. But yeah, but that ain't what we talking about. Y'all done got us off track. All right, so look, when you reward them, when you punish them, you got to do so according to them. What is going to get the most out of them? The punishment, is it going to cause them to suffer? Because that's what a punishment should be. There should be some suffering, and from that suffering should bring about a change not to do that again, because I don't want to go through that again. If the punishment is not suffering, then it's really not a punishment to them. And what you do to one, you can't necessarily do to the other and think, well, if this one hurt them, then the next one is going to hurt that child too. But it doesn't always work.
Like if we were
way.
to tell Abigail she couldn't go out in the backyard and play, she don't care. But if we say that to Brendan, that's a punishment.
Right.
There's some suffering in that because that's the thing he loves to
His
do.
world is totally over with. Or we tell him he can't play basketball in his room. He ain't got no basketball goal. He ain't got no basketball goal in his room. He ain't even got no basketball. But he plays basketball.
Make his own. He played basketball all day long in that room.
Nikola Jokic.
It repeated after him.
And who else? LeBron the James.
No, Bron LeJames.
And John Morant. He been there playing basketball all by himself. No goal, no ball, no net, no court, nothing. And then he'll run there and tell us what the score is. Like, oh, okay then. So, but if we tell him no basketball, that would crush him. That would devastate him.
Now, if we were to take electronics from Abigail.
Right. Yeah. Because she's a social butterfly like me. And she talks to her friends and everything. So that's a punishment for her. For RJ, if we tell him he can't play his VR, he loves playing his VR set, or even going outside for him. That would be a punishment that would fit them. So you got to know how to do those
things. And the same thing with rewards. So like we were just saying with RJ and his seafood boil, Abigail wants no part of that. But she wants robot.
Roblox books.
Roblox books or whatever they call.
So,
you know.
What happened to the days of duck hunting? Mario Brothers.
And you didn't have to pay for everything in the game.
Right. It was already on there if the game worked.
You know, and with Brendan, he wants his room redone, and he wants, you know, basketball stuff put in his room. So adding those things as rewards, that's something special to them. So think about their personality and what's going to mean something to them that's going to encourage them to continue the behavior they got the reward in the first place.
Right. And then it comes down to, and again, for you, for parents that have only one child, I kind of envy you. And then I'm kind of glad I'm not you on this point, because this one is listen to them. Gotta listen to them. And the reason that I envy you is because you ain't gotta listen but one. The reason that I don't envy you sometimes is because when we get tired of listening to one, they can go talk to each other. Yeah. But we grew up, and we're trying to break this cycle within our children, and hopefully everybody else is, where a child is meant to be seen and not heard. And that's not what it ought to be.
Yeah.
You gotta let your children talk.
That's the only way you know what's going on with them. You gotta listen to them, how they're feeling, their emotions. We're all emotional beings, you know.
That's how God created us. We were made in the image of God, and He gave us emotions. But a lot of us from my generation didn't know how to express, and still don't know how to express our emotions, because we were never given an opportunity to at a young age, because it was shut up. Well, my mom didn't ever tell me to shut up. I'm speaking. But at the same time, I was never just really able to express how I felt. It never was she told me not to. I just wasn't comfortable doing it because I wasn't given that space to do that. And a lot of people of my age, my generation, we were just never given that space to do that, because as little boys, you shouldn't have any feelings about yourself if you fall down. It wasn't
necessarily, you know, for little boys. I'm a girl. We grew up the same way. We didn't really. We were never encouraged to express our emotions or how we felt or what we were thinking, what our opinions were. You know, it was just not something that was encouraged. I think it was a generational thing more so than a gender thing.
Yeah, and that's something that needs to be broken. You need to allow your children to talk, because if they're not talking to you, I promise you they're talking to somebody. And I want my kids to talk to me, which brings us to the next thing. You got to take an interest in what they're talking about. Even if you don't understand.
Because most time I don't.
They just be talking and be like,
And Abigail talks really fast.
And then we have to have her to repeat.
And she's like a valley girl. And so then, and she has these random laughs. I'm not lying. I sound just like her.
We heard one as we were getting started, and it just came out of nowhere. Just heard this laugh like it's Abigail.
So, you know, slow down, articulate. I want to have this conversation. Right. I don't know what you're saying.
You got to take an interest in what your children talk about. And you may say, well, I don't understand it. That's where you sit down and you have them explain it to you. You let them talk to you about it. Let them tell you. Not for you to judge what they're talking about, and not for you
working
to say.
On me.
Not for you.
Because sometimes it doesn't make sense. And I was like, I don't understand. That don't make sense. That happened this morning in the car.
It did. Yep. Abigail and them were telling us about how I get cold in the school, and Brenda took it to. They don't tell why you're happy, man.
No, I didn't take it there. She took it there. She said, I go to school. She was talking about it. She said, I go to school and my hair look nice, but then by the time I leave school, my hair all messed up. And I'm like, what they got to do with the cold air at school?
But that wasn't even the conversation. That wasn't so.
But it didn't make sense, so I'm working on me.
It didn't make sense, so you gotta let it ride. You gotta let it ride. So, but you do have to take an interest, because RJ comes up here, he tell me about this game he playing on VR called Gorilla Tag. No clue what he is. And I just be like, yeah, okay then, all right, go on.
And he is a fount of wealth of just
random
useless
stuff,
knowledge.
Right.
And he loves to share just random useless facts with you. And so, yeah.
It just facts just like, okay, like.
Especially about animals.
Yep.
Just facts like, you know.
Like before we started, he got telling me about vampires and werewolves. And
Oh
about
yeah, why
animals.
werewolves shouldn't be able, why vampires shouldn't be able to exist because the moon doesn't actually make its own light. The light is reflected from the sun, so
Right.
there's technically sunlight, so vampires shouldn't be able to survive at night.
And my answer was they made up, because that's all I knew to say. I didn't even know that was true about the moon, the sunlight giving the moon is glowing, all this stuff. I didn't know. I just told it's made up. Okay, werewolves.
Now,
and
why
vampires
is
do
that child
not
bringing
exist.
F's in for science? That's what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm.
So,
I bet he ain't got no more of them though.
yeah, no, he didn't. Not after that lab, but that's another story. That's another story.
Oh.
But you got to take an interest in what they talk about.
And making time for it.
Yeah.
So the beauty of summers for us and us both being teachers is we have more time to have meals at the table. Oh, they talk so much. But it's an experience. But during the school year, it's so busy because all their activities kick in, and we're usually grabbing and eating on the go, or eating and hurrying up so we can get to bed. So this provides us with unique opportunities. So whenever you have opportunity to sit down and have a meal, share a meal, that's a great opportunity to just let them talk.
And see that what we realize is that we take an interest in what they like. That helps us reward them. That helps us punish them. When you can find out what they like, you can take that away, or you can build upon that. So you got to do that. Bring dinosaurs. Dinosaurs this, dinosaurs that. And he'll talk to you about stuff, and all you can do sometimes is just, okay, all right. Because you have no idea what he's talking about. But he's talking. Let your children talk. Listen to them. And don't look at it as them being smart at the mouth, or you got to hear their perspective. Sometimes we don't give kids a chance to tell their side of the story because they're kids, and what do they know? And when they start talking, some people, you gonna let them talk to you like that? All they did was tell me what they were talking about. They didn't cuss me or
we encourage our children to call a lie a lie. It's not a white tail. It's not what's all of
a fib.
A fib and all that. A lie is a lie, and they need to learn early on that a lie is a lie. So call a lie a lie, even if we told it, because the truth is the truth, and we encourage that,
Yeah. That was like today, Brian talking about some, Dad, you told me yesterday you were gonna go outside and play football with me, and I'm like, boy, go on somewhere. But that's what I said, and it wasn't him being disrespectful that he came back and said it to me. He was talking to me, telling me what I said. So we went outside and played football. But you got to let them talk. And the whole thing is being able to conversate, right? Converse. I always say it wrong, though. And I knew you were going to correct me.
You know what? I'm here for you, baby. See? Help me.
Okay. Somebody help me. But I always get it wrong, though. She always correct me. You think by now I would get it right, but I don't. But it's because what they're getting now, they're going to have to grow up. You don't want your child 30 years old and still can't talk. Don't know how to
have a conversation.
Right. Can't disagree because they never learned how to disagree as a child. And every disagreement now they get angry and upset and think somebody's out to get them or against them. No, learn. We have disagreements in our house with our children, and we talk back and forth. We work it out. That's what you need to do. Let them talk.
Sometimes they're right. We're wrong. You know what that means we have to do? Apologize. Yeah, they're kids.
Yep, but
right is right, wrong is wrong. And when you're wrong, apologize. Let them know you're wrong.
Swallow that pill, pride pill. Get a lot of water, swallow that big pill, and let them know, hey, I was wrong and I apologize.
They will respect you for it.
Will.
And that you're teaching them something. You're giving them an example on how to acknowledge when they're wrong. If you can do something to make it right, you make it right. If not, all you can do is apologize and move forward from that point.
Because we're big in this family on forgiveness. We're big on forgiveness from the smallest, right? From the smallest to the tallest, which is me. I'm the tallest.
I like half
it don't
an
matter.
inch.
It don't
I
matter.
think I shrank. I did.
It's shrinked it. It is not shrink. It is shrinked it. You shrinked it.
Never mind.
But forgiveness is big in this house. When you look at Ephesians 4:32, it speaks about teaching us to forgive because Christ forgave us. So if we're going to be Christians and we're going to follow after Jesus and follow the example that he set, he was one to forgive. We got to forgive our children and they have to forgive us. We mess up. Yeah, we do. And we're quick to let them know. Hey, because sometimes you lose your temper. Sometimes you do. And you say stuff that you would not have normally said if you were not so mad and so upset. 2 or 3 minutes, get yourself together, go back to them, call them and tell them. Don't just be generic, sorry. No, tell them why you apologize. Hey, I'm sorry. I, call your head long like your dad, long head self like your dad, Apologize and tell them why that you are apologizing. But there's nothing wrong with apologizing because what that does, that lets them know that you are human also.
And that we all make mistakes. And so when they mess up, it'll make them react more quickly to try to fix the situation and to acknowledge the wrong and apologize and fix it too.
Yeah, teach them that lesson early. And if you haven't been apologizing to your children, start. Start. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just pride because we think we're supposed to always be right and we can never be wrong.
Because we're the grown-ups.
Right, and then it really stings when they call you out on it. When they talk. Because I remember one time we were fishing down in Red Banks with RJ and my mama, and I was messing with him about throwing in, don't throw in somebody's spot after, they catch a fish right there, because he quick to do that. You catch a fish, he'll throw right there in the spot you just came from. So I preach that to him whenever we go fishing. And I did. My mama caught a fish out there, I threw right there in the same spot. And he looked at me and he said, Dad, you a hypocrite. Because you are. And first of all, I was like, give me a switch. But he was telling the truth. And I said, you know what, I apologize to you because that's what I tell you not to do. And do it. I ain't catch no fish right there. I guess that was the Lord forgive me for being a hypocrite. But he called me out on it. I couldn't get mad at him for telling me the truth. That's what it was. It was the truth. And I apologized. So learn how to apologize. All right. So, look, welcome to Parenthood. We hope that what we've shared with you will help you. Share with us some of the tips or some of the things that you've learned. We'll be glad to
Lord knows
look at
we're still learning.
Right? Still learning. And at this rate, we got how many more years? 13 more before the last one is out the house. But also about parenting, it doesn't stop when your children move out. What we talked about, you can still use today. Now, I don't know if you're going to be whooping your 30-year-old or your 40-year-old. If they living in a house with you, you got every right to whoop them. If they still living under your roof, you can whoop them.
I don't know if that's true, but okay.
You might get beat up.
I guess that's why I ain't never going back to bed in jeans, because I took my last whooping.
You might get beat up. Could you imagine trying, man? But no. But the parenting doesn't. Parenting doesn't stop just because they move out of the house. They still need you to parent them in certain things. So be there and be ready to parent your children, no matter how old they are.
Even when they mess up.
Right.
Be confident in what you've taught them. Trust that it's going to come back to them. Encourage them and support them on their way back until they get there, because you're still the parent.
Right. And I always hashtag parenting ain't easy.
Oh, it ain't.
It's not, but it's worth it, and it's
is.
rewarding. So, welcome to Parenthood. Look, we ain't forgot, we just need 2 of y'all to get to 100. And to make it legit, 3 to make it 101.
I don't like odd numbers, so give us 4.
Okay, 102.
We so greedy.
Right. So look, to the next time with your favorite couple, the Hubbards, and we enjoyed it. Y'all have a good one.
Bye, guys.